Tonight, the Iowa DNR held a public meeting to address residents' concerns about the low water levels of Blue Lake near Ottawa, Iowa. KTIV's Gabriela Quinones highlights some of those concerns.
Over 100 people attended the public meeting Iowa DNR held to discuss the water levels of Blue Lake. The meeting grew from a petition signed by 1,500 people who expressed their concerns about the lake. That got the attention of elected officials.
I wouldn't have known that much about Blue Lake if it wasn't for the petition. I mean, I've fished Blue Lake, I knew about it, but I didn't know that the levels were going to that level. So just people holding us accountable and reaching out, and their voices were heard tonight, and that's what it's all about.
Low lake levels won't allow for larger boats with motors, and low lake levels limit the fish population. One resident wants elected officials to fund DNR and then to work together to fix the problem.
Our representatives in Des Moines and in D.C. come together to provide a sound solution to a problem that has existed for 65 years.
Blue Lake is at 1,507 acre-feet at full pool prior to the dredging. Every summer, about 12% of the lake's volume evaporates, and the water levels continue to dip.
To be honest, the real solution is to ask for more rain, hope for more rain. What I hope people saw is that we have been investing in this lake and lake system.
Iowa DNR dredged the lake and has inserted a pump to maintain water levels when they get too high. However, the issue is the water isn't getting high enough to make it effective. They are working with a company to better understand the pump.
From that, we hope to produce a guidance document that'll tell us when it makes sense to actually pump water, and also ensure that we're not negatively affecting other people in the area.
Some residents say they came away from the meeting more informed.
I feel a lot better. I understand more about the lake, you know, why it's dropping, but like I said, it's got to rain, so there's not much you can do.
Iowa DNR Representative Ben Wallace says the real solution is more rain. He says they could look into supplemental water supplies, but there's no practical or reasonable alternative.
We haven't seen how low they can get. Likewise, we haven't seen how high they can get. So I am confident that this lake will bounce back like all the other ones that have gone, dry or very low.
In Ottawa, Iowa, Gabriela Quinones, KTIV News 4.
Wallace says the boat ramp could be extended again to allow easier access to that lake for smaller watercraft.